For joining me once again for another tutorial. Now this one is just something really fun, really pretty, mixing blues, pinks and purples. So girly and feminine and so much fun. I've been a bit uninspired lately, maybe because of the weather and just general gloominess. So I thought I would just do something to cheer myself and you guys all up. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial of this fun look. It also has a bit of a double liner, so it's a little bit different. First of all, I'm going to prime my eye with Urban Decay Primer Potion, and then I'm going to put on two coloured primers. Now in the inner corner where we have the blue, so the inner half, I'm going to use NYX Jumbo Pencil in Baby Blue, it's number 606, and then on the outer corner where we have the purple, so from here onwards, I'm going to use the 614 Lavender Jumbo Pencil, which is like a pinky purple, and that will just give me a colour guide how far I want to put the shadows as well as intensify the colours. So when you have just a really thin layer of these on, all you want to do is just blend out the edges. It's okay if the colours kind of intermix because they're meant to be just really subtle as a base. They're really pretty on their own actually. I have worn these before. Just make sure you don't put too thick a layer on because it will crease. Another step you want to do, and I actually forgot to do it, so I'm going to do it now, is to take some loose powder. I'm just take some of e.l.f. Shimmer Mineral Bronzer. It's basically just a skin colour loose powder. Any kind of translucent powder or anything like that will work great. I'm just loading up some on my brush and putting it underneath my eye. Because we're using purple and blue pigments, we really don't want any fallout. And really I would recommend doing your eye makeup before you do your skin and everything like that, but since I've done it the wrong way around, I'm just going to put this underneath my eye so it can catch any fallout. So let's begin with our eyeshadows. The first one I'm taking is a Barry M Dazzle Dust in number 20, and it's a really pretty shimmery baby blue. I'm just going to get some of that on my 239 brush and press it into the lid. If you want this look to be even more vibrant, for example, you can do this look for Halloween if you want to be like a baby doll or some pretty princess or something like that. You can just put these colours on wet using water, mixing medium or eye drops to make them more vibrant. But I'm just going to use them and press them into that base so it's a tiny bit more subtle for the day. Then we're going to flip our brush over, or if you're not comfortable with that, just take a new one. And I'm going to use Barry M Dazzle Dust in number 34, which is the purple colour in the crease here. And then what you want to do is just imagine that you're doing your liquid liner, so you want to do it at the same angle as your lower lash line. You press it down like so. And I know it looks really messy right now, but that's roughly the angle you want to be going at. So you want to press it along and then move it in slightly. Then flip the brush up like this and move it into the crease. And then put some underneath your eye as well. So that's kind of the rough shape that we have there. So we have a little gap in the center where we're going to put our pink, but then the purple is kind of surrounding it. For the pink, I'm going to use Paper Doll Mineral Pigment from Heavenly Naturals, and it's just a really pretty shimmery pink. You can use any shimmery pink you want. Same thing, clean brush, and then I'm just going to pat it into that little space that we have left. Just like so. And you pat it a little bit over the purple and a little bit of the blue. And then what I like to do is just go down the middle and kind of wiggle my brush to start to blend it all together. If you want to, you can go back, add some blue, anything like that. What I'm just going to do is just take my 217 and then start blending out the edges here. You can see how using these pigments dry, once you start blending, it really lightens the look. I mean, that's both the downside and maybe an advantage of these pigments, that they are so bright in the jar and on your skin, but once you start blending they do kind of dull down. So don't be afraid to use them, even if they look bright, because once you blend them you can see how it's all kind of smoked out. Now I'm just going to add a highlight, and for this I'm going to be using a little bit of MAC Vanilla Shadow, which looks like this, just a creamy colour. I don't want anything shimmery or strikingly light, because I have quite a lot of colour and shimmer and everything going on the lid. The reason I do the purple all the way in is because it's kind of acting like our crease colour and it just defines it, and also it gives a border for the pink to stop, because I don't really like wearing pinks too much on my eyes. That's why I put it in the centre, because if it just carried on up it can just make it look like you have a bit of a irritated red eye, but the purple around the edge stops that. Today for my eyeliner, just for ease, I'm using Lancome's Line Design. This is well loved and used, as you can see, because most of it has worn off. And I'm just going to do a basic cat eyeliner. Moxie's having a little Olympic race in the background. And then we're going to just flick it out at the corner. Now don't pull on your eye, but I just kind of place it there so that my skin, it's not taut. You can see, like if I was pulling it would be like this. I just place it here so that when I move the skin doesn't bunch up. Just keeping it in place. Just like so. And then this time what we're actually going to do is add a second wing. And like you can see in this eye, it's got a little extra wing here. So you want to make this one quite prominent. Let me just tidy it up a little bit. Like that, and then we're going to do a second wing. Like so. And if you need to adjust that, just take a Q-tip, kind of go in the centre there. Because I have quite a lot of shadow, it's quite hard to see how the two wings are separate. If you're having real problems with separating the two wings, I don't know how well my camera's focusing, just take a small brush, like an eyeliner brush, and put some of that light shadow, the vanilla that we use as a highlight, and you can just put it in between the two wings like this. So now you can kind of see better. Recently I've been obsessed with having really thick lashes, and I have gone back to using my L'Oreal Voluminous, which I love. Because the effects of the eyelash have completely worn off, my eyelashes are pretty short again, but I quite like having them neater now, and also having them really voluminous, like the mascara says. So what I've been doing is using this traditional Kajal. This one is called Mumtaz, and I got it when I was in Dubai, so yeah, I can't really recommend you guys go and get it, because it's from the United Arab Emirates. They basically sell it like in markets and drugstores everywhere, and it's really easy to line the upper waterline. I still don't line the lower waterline because I don't want mine to look smaller, but the upper waterline, once I put on mascara, it just makes my eyelashes look thicker. So I'm just going to go ahead with that voluminous on the top and the bottom lashes. So now for the lips, what I'm going to do is take Makeup Forever's double-ended pencil, and instead of lining my lips, I'm going to reverse line them. So I'm going to line them around the outside. And then I'm just going to blend it in with my ring finger. Makes your lips just look really flawless, and it's not as obvious as lining it with a lip liner, because it doesn't always completely match your lipstick, let's be honest now. Now I'm just going to apply some Cream Cup lipstick. Just a little bit. And on top of that I'm going to use Body Shop's Liquid Lip Colour, and this one is number 13, and it's really pretty because it's light pink but it has some silver and blue duochrome to it. And there's your final look, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you all soon. Bye.